I'm very humbled to be recognized among such a distinguished group of honorees. Eddie Brown, Rand Griffin, and especially my good friends Jerry Holthouse, George Roach, Brian Rogers, and of course, Bob Lawless, my predecessor and my long-term mentor. You should also know that these gentlemen are also significant and loyal shareholders of McCormick. I'd like to thank my friend and colleague Chuck Langmead, who sits on the board of sponsors. He's a proud Loyola graduate and a 38-year McCormick employee. Some of the most relevant advice I received was right here at the Loyola Business Leader of the Year dinner. I think it was during the year that honored Jerry Holthouse. Now, Jerry gave a great speech, didn't even use a script. It was very personal, and he talked about the discipline of a Jesuit education, his relationship with Father Selinger, and how he used his Loyola education to mold his life and his career. It was very inspirational. Sorry, Jerry. My big takeaway that year didn't come from your speech or from any of these distinguished business leaders. In fact, it wasn't even about business. It was about setting the right priorities in life, and it came not from Bob Lawless, who has taught me so much through the years. It came from Kathy Lawless, Bob's wife. And Kathy, the first advice you gave me was buy the lake house. Thank you very much. We really appreciate that. But I remember our conversation really well, and if you don't mind, I'll just paraphrase a little bit of it. The dinner was held just after my promotion to CEO had been announced, so I had a lot of anxiety and uncertainty in stepping into the shoes behind a very successful leader. I was really excited to make a personal impact in a business that I loved. She talked to me about a few key themes, not about business, but about life, including humility and personal balance. But the most critical insight I gained is to hold tight to family and relationships. At the end of our time on earth, the most important measure of our life isn't how big our business is or how much stuff we've been able to acquire. It's about the way we live our lives and the difference that we make for other people. I'll end with an insight that I gained from one of my McCormick co-workers about leadership. She asked me if I felt a lot of pressure in my job. I answered most of the pressure I felt was because I felt I had 10,000 McCormick employees counting on me. She put it in perspective when she answered, you know, it's not about people counting on you. You actually have 10,000 people you can count on. Thank you again, Dr. Leggio, Father Lane. I'm very honored.